Hi everyone, and welcome to Valley Crafty Corner. I have another 12 by 12 layout to share with you today, using the sock hop kit from Studio Calico with the poodle skirt add-on. And I am doing a what I'm doing here is I was trying to figure out what I could use with these pictures, and anything that you see here isn't how this layout ends up in the end. It ends up being completely different. So basically what I had a hard time with was picking my background paper because everything I wanted it to be kind of playful and fun and still kind of youthful, but when I had that kind of dotted gradient paper, it didn't go very well with the pictures and what was going on. And I had this brown paper out, which kind of looked nice, but it was a little too serious for what was going on. So it was a little hard to use. And the other problem I had was there was a lot of brown papers that I had left over in the kit. So whenever I added another layer underneath those photos, it was brown, and it just didn't end up going very well together. And here I'm just trying to figure out what I can use as a photo mat for these pictures. And then I end up using that paper from the For the Record 2 for Studio Calico, and the other side is that Everyday Eclectic Collection. So I was just using that as my photo mat. And the other reason why I wanted to add some green is there was that arrow tape that came in the kit, and I hadn't used any of it yet, so I really wanted to add a green accent so that I could pull that washi tape in. And here again, I just keep fiddling around with this background, and it just have such a hard time with the background of this paper. Or of this layout, so I ended up not doing any of what was here. I was trying to make a photo mat with that red paper and that kind of grid background paper, and it looked nice, but it wasn't the look I was looking for, and yeah, it was just really difficult. So at some point here, I end up walking away and coming up with a better idea. So, and here I'm just keep going through some of the papers that I had left over in the kit. This is the third layout I made using the kit. I had already posted the fourth layout that I made, but I had issues with just posting videos. I had some little kids that I was looking after for a while, and it was just really hard to post the videos and make the layouts and stuff like that. And that one I was trying to finish for that poke fan challenge, and I just didn't end up finishing it. So there you see I cut a strip of that midway ticket paper, and the reason why I had was because I wanted to add that green washi tape, so I just thought it would be a nice contrast with the green accents in there. So here you see I went to that green, or sorry, the white dotted Swiss dot paper, or I'm not sure what it's called, but I just wanted to change the focus of the paper, and I was more happy with this than what I have been in with the other papers that I had out. And I took that piece of paper, and I believe it's from Basic Gray. Yeah, it's that backside of that brown paper, and I just wanted to make a kind of big photo mat for the middle of the layout, and it was that red kind of print pattern, so it wasn't quite as bold and bright as that alphabet that I was trying to use before, but it did add the red that I kind of wanted for the layout. And here I'm just trying to fiddle around with some layers just to try and see which way I wanted the layout to go. And just keep adding some more layers just to try and see. And I like that yellow paper, so I just cut off the strip that I had with the die cuts that I had cut out. And I used that yellow piece of paper. It just really accented those photos quite nicely. And I'm just pulling out my layout here just to kind of get an idea of what else I used. And I used that Fifth and Frolic bird paper. I wanted to try to see if I could use that chevron print, but it just didn't go with the red. And I was going to use that arrow print in the background, but it just didn't go either. So I decided to get this bird background paper as like a photo mat. And basically what I was looking for was not the not the print. I was looking for the color for the photo mat. You can't really see the birds on top of underneath those photos anyway, so it's more or less the color is what I was going for. So here I was pretty happy with how that part was starting to look. So I just took those ticket strips and I'm just trying to trim them up and make it actually look like tickets rather than just a strip of paper. And you're going to see me fast forward here in a minute, and I'm just going to cut those notches out to make it actually look like tickets. So here I'm just finishing up cutting out those tickets, and I was going to use the whole strip, but it wasn't sitting really well on the page as a strip itself. So I kind of left it for a minute, but I knew I wanted to use it on this layout. And here I'm just messing around with some of the die cuts, just trying to see what I could use on the layout. And I'm going to fast forward again here. I don't want to have you guys sit and look at all these die cuts again, because this would be like the third time I've done it. So I'm just pulling out some die cuts, and in a second you'll see which ones I've pulled out. So here's a little bit more of some pieces that I've pulled, and I ended up pulling some brads, that little boy badge button. I kind of liked how that looked in with the papers. And then I had some other little labels or printouts from the printables from Studio Calico. And here I'm taking that white dot paper, and I just wanted to add a little bit of green to it. So I added some, I think this is Gable Green, Mr. Huey's. And then I did some spritzing, and as well as just kind of like throwing it on the page. And you didn't really end up seeing any of the splotches that I had spritzed down, but that's okay. I was happy with how it turned out. I just wanted to add a little bit more of a green accent to the photos rather than it being so stark white. So I really liked how that was starting to look. And again, I'm inking up all the edges of my papers in the black set ink. And I didn't want that yellow piece of paper to go straight across the page, so I just cut maybe 1/4 of an inch off, just so that it added a little bit something more than going straight across the photo or straight across the layout. And then here I'm laying down and inking up that Fifth and Frolic paper. I really like that bird paper. It's too bad those birds got covered up, but again, it wasn't really what I was looking for. And I just kind of offset that paper a little bit just to add a little bit of interest. And here I go back to that ticket strip, and I was trying to lay it down, but it wasn't the look I was looking for. So here I'm just going through those die cuts that I had pulled out and just trying to see where I want to lay them. And I think all of these die cut pieces are from the printables, except for there's like my little journaling piece, and that is actually from the Fifth and Frolic collection. And there you can see it right there. It's that little kind of library looking card piece. But all these other pieces are from the printables, except for that the key as well. The key is from the Fifth and Frolic collection as well. And I did not do a lot of journaling on those little label pieces. I can't remember when my sister took these pictures, so I just left a few pieces blank so that I could write on them, so that you know, it's definitely going to be documented. I just need to know from her when she took them. And so here I am starting to kind of get an idea of what I want to do for my title. And I'm using those Jenny Bolin letter stickers. And apparently I can't spell mechanic, so that spelling is going to get fixed right away. But I was pretty sure I had spelt it wrong at this point. I just wanted to see how it was going to look. And just kind of getting rid of some pieces on where I wanted to put them, just getting them out of the way. And this is where I'm kind of looking at my phone to see if I spelt mechanic right, and I knew I didn't. So you'll see me fix that right now. And I'm using that wax paper, and that's a trick that I learned from that Mercy Tiara. It's a good trick if you're not 100% sure where you want to put your title. You can put it on the wax paper, and then you can move it down around wherever you need to, and then you can still see the layout behind, rather than committing to putting down your title and it's not where you think the best spot would be. So here I'm pulling out those basic gray chipboard letter stickers, and I'm just going to have in training in that part. So just pulling the letters out for right now. So I was pretty sure that's where I wanted my title to go, and I kind of liked how that looked. So I was just getting that out of the way and just getting the other parts of my layout ready so that it would be ready for when I put my title down, so that I could make sure I got my spacing right. So I'm just working on this embellishment piece right here. And here I am going to put that little boy on. I don't think I attach it at this particular moment. I think I just wanted to see what it was going to look like. But here's where I take that ticket strip and I just cut off an individual ticket to use as an embellishment. And I really liked how that looked. So I thought if I could add one of those little ticket pieces to each of these little embellishment clusters, then it would kind of tie them all in together. And just kind of slipping that die cut in behind that big yellow or big green die cut piece. I just wanted to add that as an accent. I didn't want it to take too much focus, and I didn't want to cover up my nephew on his little creeper. And if I put that die cut piece where it was before, then it would have covered up his feet, and I didn't really want to do that. So here's where I'm going to add that brad, but that paper was super thick with all the layers, so I had to work really hard to make that whole opening so that I could add it. And that little brad is kind of like an ampersand, and so the title had "You Are Awesome" and "Check This Out, Mechanic in Training," so I thought that was kind of cute, kind of tied everything in all together. And I pulled the washi tape out, but I didn't think I wanted to use it. I was thinking about putting something underneath where that mechanic was, and I didn't really like any of the washi tape that was there, but I also didn't want my title to feel like it was floating. So I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But again, whenever I have a problem area, I'll start working on a different area until I come up with an idea. And that usually helps me kind of problem solve as I go. That way I don't feel like I'm wasting time by trying to solve a certain situation or a certain part of my layout. I can just keep working and come back to it later. So here I'm just adding that ticket strip, or cutting a piece from that ticket strip and adding it behind, and I'm just kind of monkeying around seeing where I want it to go, and I had committed to that part. And I am adding that other ticket strips. I think I was trying to figure out what to do with that top part, and I took the one that I had from the bottom and put it up top, but that's okay. And I'm not sure what my method is right now. Oh, I was going to add a brad to that top corner there, just because I had a lot of circular elements going on, so I wanted to make sure I kind of balanced everything off. And here I'm just looking at die cuts to see if I can add anything more to these little clusters, and I look, but a lot of those stickers are really girly, and this was kind of a boyish kind of layout, and I didn't want it to add a lot of pinks or, you know, baby blues or anything like this to this layout. I wanted it to keep it kind of on the primary color scale, just because he is wearing red, the creeper is blue, he's got yellow on his shirt. I just wanted to keep it very primary colors. I know there's not a lot of really heavy blue in this layout, but I didn't want it to be over primary colors, so that's why I stuck to the yellow and the red. And here's where I'm pulling out some washi tape. This is where I realized I wanted to use the washi tape. Oh, and sorry, right here I'm pulling out a roller stamp, and I'm just adding a day in the life, and I'm just stamping it 3 times, and then I'm going to put that little boy beside it, that little boy badge button. And I liked how that looked. I haven't done that for a long time on a layout. And then here I'm going back to my title and realizing that I'm going to stick it down because I want the in training to kind of be layered on top of those letters. So I wanted to put my title there for sure, but I still was having an issue in my mind about where the in training was going to go. And when I started to put my title, like the rest of this part down, I'm still kind of realizing that it looks like it's kind of floating, and I didn't really like that part. And I didn't want it to look like it was all kind of clustered together. So it's not going to stay at this particular spot where it is at this moment. So I think I'm going to fast forward in a minute here. So here is where I come back and I'm going to put down that washi tape. And I really liked how that really kind of brought the whole layout together. It brought more of the green in to kind of help show the accents of those die cut pieces, as well as the photo mat that was around the pictures. And I just wanted to add some washi tape to that top left corner, because then the arrows were pointing down and it draw your focus into those pictures. So I like that look to that. And here I am inking up the edges of that key, and I wanted to add some baker's twine to that key, so I'm just punching a hole with my crocodile. And I'm just using some close to my heart baker's twine, and this is always sitting on my desk just because it's the primary colors. So I just usually snip off some. I've had it for such a long time, I'm not really worried about conserving it or not conserving it, because I have another package that's not from Close to My Heart. I believe it's from Tim Holtz, and it has all those colors in it, so I'm not overly concerned with using it all up. Baker's twine lasts forever. I've had so many different kinds of baker's twine, and I haven't used up any one of my colors yet. I really like the baker's twine. It's cheap. It's really has a really nice look to it. And it seems to last forever. So it's one of those staple products I usually have lots of. Not that you plan on having that much baker's twine, but it always seems to happen that way. Usually end up getting some from like a Studio Calico Kit or something like that. So it just the way it is. So here I'm putting down my letters now. I knew I wasn't really too concerned at this point where my title, like for the in training part, was going to end, but I wanted the title to kind of come closer to that kind of collage of elements going on the right hand side. So I was just going to carry it along for as long as it did, and I really liked how that looked better than where I had originally put my title. So I'm not sure. Oh, I'm just having issues with some of the letters here. And I believe after I put that title down, I do believe that was pretty much it. And I think the only other thing that I do on this is add the dots to the eyes. Oh, and I lost an eye here, so I had to go find another one. But so here I'm just punching out those dots. I didn't want to lose them, so I was just punching them out from the backside and picking them up off of the backside of that adhesive, so they wouldn't go rolling around all over the place or get flung up in the air. So this is pretty much the layout right here. I think I just take a quick look at it just to see if there's anything else I wanted to add. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and I had to add that brad to the top left corner there that I hadn't added before. So after I add this, we'll get into some close-ups. Alright, so here's the finished layout. And I just take one more look at it. So here's some close-ups of those little embellishment clusters. And thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.